What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. As the title suggests, we're going to talk about how to balance two key roles on a production. The production itself is this one right here. It's a music video called Loose by Eric Ryan and Lay Vera. In this part of this 2-video series, we're going to talk about producing. Let's jump right into it. To set the stage, I'm going to talk about crewing, managing the budget, creating meetings and setting up timelines, sourcing locations, as well as creating a schedule. Locking in crew was one of the easiest parts because with these productions in general, we already have a set crew that comes to all of them. The only problem that occurred was that some people were only available on one day or weren't available at all. So I had to find some people to fill in those spots, and in the end we made it work. Moving on to budgeting. The first thing you want to determine is how much money you have in total to spend. Next thing I do, which is in my opinion the most important, budget for craft. A hungry crew is not a happy crew, so you want to make sure you're feeding your crew. I try to make sure that I spend about $15 to $25 per person on a meal, depending on the budget, and making sure there's no pizza, subs, or like just unhealthy food in general. More so finding a balance of tasty and healthy. On top of that, I budget about between $100 to $200 for snacks and drinks. After craft is all situated, I talk to each department head and see how much money they need. For producing projects like this, I always aim to be efficient, to max out the budget, but also leave a 10% to 20% contingency cost in case something goes wrong. Please save your receipts no matter what role you are. That's how you get paid back in the end, and it helps to just be transparent with the producer if you lost it. Let's talk about finding locations. This one is probably the most stressful because we had like less than 10 days until we needed to go to camera. As well, we wanted a location where we could set up 3 to 4 different looks in one place. We were able to source locations for the candle and pool scene on day 1 within the crew itself, and then for day 2 I used an online platform called SetScouter to source that location. For scheduling, I like to use a work back schedule, which is just finding the due date and working back and creating timelines. And building off of that, I give each due date to each department head, and then they break that up within their own departments and do the small tasks themselves. Another part of scheduling that I personally did this time was creating a shooting schedule. This is basically a sheet that tells you what the entire day is. The call times, how long a shot will take or how much you've estimated, when lunch is, and when estimated wrap is. And a point for just shoot days in general. Please don't work your crew more than 12 hours unless you want to pay overtime. It's more or less all the work I did in pre-production as a producer. Once we got into production, I put on my cinematographer hat, and we'll talk about that in the next video. I know that's a lot of information to talk about in a very short amount of time, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or I can just make a whole new video going in depth about producing. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to watch the music video itself, support my boy Eric, Lay Vera, and everyone who helped make this happen, and I'm just happy that I'm alive after doing this. So yeah, go watch this thing.